Yeah, get it on. Fast you fall. Tailwind Nutrition, Biomaxa, cable cycles, you know the rest. Hey, so I'm going to do it. Morning. Rightio guys, I'll just be on the indoor trainer for a little bit. Not too much junk food while I'm out there, Tiger. Okay, so yesterday was round 2 of the North Island Team Series race in Martinborough. The old indoor trainer, no here. Doing a bit of recovery after yesterday. So yeah, let's talk through what happened in race 2. So you got North Island Team Series. What is that? North Island Team Series is a Masters Series. Riders from 35 up in 3 grades. Masters 1, 2 and 3, 35 to 45, 45 to 50 and 50 plus respectively, something like that. 80 to 90k road races in the Wairarapa, run by George Sandoval. So it's super competitive because, you know, like one of those things where you have really competitive middle-aged dudes going at it hammer and tong, and it's something like I've always enjoyed doing for the last 3 years or so. Always been runner-up in the GC, never won, against usually guys like Brendan McGrath and John Randall. So I enjoy this racing and I enjoy the guys and I'd like to do well. So I sort of put a lot of effort into thinking about it and ways I could do better. So first race was a flat race around Lake Wairarapa, flattish. And it worked out pretty much the same way as the race yesterday did, race 2. Both relatively flat. Of course, it's a little bit more hilly in this one, but in both cases, you have a case where the thing is, there's kind of like guys who are deemed to not really be a threat for the series, allowed to go up the road, and guys who are seen to be the main threats for the GC, and they keep cancelling each other out on the road. So first race, second race, we had what it looks like there, goes out from Martinborough down towards the turn off towards Cape Palliser, turn around and back. And it's kind of like an undulating course, and I don't know if you can see here, the power data, that first 20 minutes or so, 400 plus on the EP, on normalized power, because it was really high power, a lot of strong attacks, and then strong attacks from big players like Dave Rowlands, Andy Hagan, Dave Weaver, me trying to hold on, etc. So that settled down when it was kind of apparent that none of those would take, and then attempted breakaways from lower riders, or people who were deemed to be less of a threat for the GC started happening. And this is that period halfway down Cape Palliser Road, or 3/4 of the way. There's a bit of a lull in our power, and before the hill, breakaway was successful of guys like Gavin McCarthy, who's in the Jersey, my rider Chris Sutherland and Fitlab, Mark Hussey from Rivet, a couple of others I'm forgetting, a breakaway of about 5. They weren't chased because, as I say, they're not really thought of as threats for the GC. All the rest of the way, there was some, set a new power record on the hill here. Looks like a big hill in the middle, but it's not really. Something like 500 watts for a minute, or 550 watts for a minute, or something like that, to go on to an attack from Dave Rowlands and Dave Weaver. Again, I sort of nullified that out. Guy from Rivet came over my wheel, Matt Weber, who was super strong. And all the way back, really, it was the situation where all the attacks were nullified and the break went away. break one by about 2 minutes, and the group of about 5 of us, some small attacks but not really. The main attack of the day from the big riders was Andy Hagen, who went off the front and put down about 350 watts for about 10 minutes on the front by himself, but it was a bit fruitless in the end. He got brought back about 500 meters before the line, and there was a sprint in which Dave Rowlands won from Dave Weaver, then me in third, the other guys coming up the back. And I find it really tricky to sprint against those guys. Yeah, it is a bit of a problem for me as a time trial focused rider these days, spending my time on the indoor trainer, trying to get my aerobic motor as good as it can go. So the idea is you can punch as high a sustainable power for as long as possible. That's not good if you want to win a sprint against a guy like Dave Weaver or Dave Rowlands, because you just don't have the explosive power. So that's a problem for me coming into a sprint, but I'll try to do better. So, Gav McCarthy is still in the jersey in Master 1. I've taken the win in a giant sprint with a crash. Matt Stevens from Rob Kilvington, Jamie Hodgkinson, all THT. Wait, no, THT is doing well in the overall, but BDO winning. Capital Cycle second, THT third. Jonathan Leonard fourth, doing great. So Capital's having a good day, by the looks of it. Fastest 3, Thomas Borschenstein, again winning in a sprint from Richard Sutton, Oliver Ferrer. That's what I was thinking of, optimal performance. Kicking ass in the overall. But don't sleep on this dude, Steve O'Keefe, coming in fourth, the world's most reliable sprinter, and Ian Paynton bringing it up. When things get hilly, that's going to be quite a matchup to watch. Alright, so maybe just a couple of thoughts to leave you with. Next couple of races in the series I think will be the most decisive because they have large climbs. Round 3 has a big climb in the middle. Dave Rowlands isn't there for it. So I think the big players will probably fight out the win between them, and breaks won't be allowed to go the same way. Even if they do, they'll be brought back. Jersey could change hands in Master 1. Well, in all the grades really. The better climbers, a guy like Ian Paynton will come out in Master 3. Round 4 there's a hilltop finish, and even though it's only about 3-4 minutes of climbing, maybe 5, something like that, that will favour the big VO2 max riders, power to weight guys who can haul it really fast to the end. After that the GC will be almost all decided, and if you have a strong team like us who's capable of defending a jersey, then that will probably take place for round 5. There'll be lots of points calculations going on. So that's, I don't know, that's a bit of a rambling one, sort of some thoughts, calculations, chess going on in my head. You know, it's funny, I try to explain cycle racing like this to people, and it sounds very weird, like, why don't you just ride fast and hard all the time? And it's not bike racing. Bike racing is a game of patience and chess a lot of times, and keeping that in mind can help. Maybe like one thing I said to a guy who was asking about it yesterday was, it's kind of like a lot of being patient, a lot of paying attention, and knowing when you got to go 100%. You don't go 99%, you don't go 99.5%, you go 100%. That's when you need to go. You don't need to go here, you need to go here. And knowing the difference between the two. And that can be calculations made based on lots of things. It could even be weather, like wind and things. It could be who's up the road in the break. It could be who's back and you need to attack. It could be lots of things. Pay attention and know when to go. Maybe that's what I'd say. A couple more things. Enjoying this giant Trinity TT bike. This is a good position. You can see a pretty extreme hand position here with some angled risers. I'm getting very used to that position. Now I think I'll be able to produce record power in this position from time trials coming up. I want to break the local course record at Kahutra, the all-time record. I have the record for a single rider, but I want to beat the all-time record, which was set by a couple of riders who did a 2-up time trial there several years ago. And he's got about 30 seconds faster for that record. I want to try to get the record at Liverton 7 laps. There's a few time trial goals I got coming up. Check out this hack, split box underneath the Eurovolt cover there. You can really see that, but it's a little aero hack, some taped wires, doing the full Demoulon wire treatment under the bars here. Well, I haven't messed out here anyway. A little bit of aero gains on this bike. So that's coming up. This weekend we've got the Around the Lake or at the Cycle Challenge run by Masters Club. That is a really good ride. Mass start, road race, 80 k's, flat rolling terrain, recommend. Couple of little pinch climbs, especially one coming out of Martinborough is the most important. Don't get boxed in the gutter there. And position well for a good sprint in the final. That's what I'd say about the Around the Lake race. Alright, boom, get it on. Fast before, Tailwind Nutrition, Biomaxa, Capital Cycles. See you underneath the video for links for discounts. And thanks for watching, guys. So it's been a while. See you soon.